Welcome to the Leaderish Podcast, leadership lessons straight up, with your hosts, Dr. Jen and Regina. Hey, Jen, how's it going?
Hey, Regina. It's going so well. How are you?
I am doing so well. Per the usual. I mean, let's just talk about how exciting it is to have this podcast. And I work with this one. We don't work together at the same company. She's a vendor. I've known her for years. And on a call the other day, I just said, "Did you know I started a podcast?" And she's like, "No, tell me about that." And so the next day, 24 hours later, I received this text from her. "Your podcast is spectacular." Oh my gosh.
Spectacular even.
I know. It says, "I'm looking forward to hearing the one today," because we have one dropping, of course, every Friday. "You and Dr. Jen are so real and your passion comes through. So happy for the two of you."
That's fantastic. Again, we read these, and actually Regina reads them most of the time because we appreciate you so much. And we're just so in awe of people taking the time to listen and to reach out. So, that is so great. Thank you for sharing that.
So Dara, thank you for that text message. And thank you for filling both Jen and I's cup with that message. That was so kind and so sweet.
Speaking of, it is time for my favorite segment, which is the drink of the day. So Regina, I know, what do you have in your cup today?
Well, I have a little bit of vodka and a little bit of sparkling water. We all know how much I love my sparkling water, and I do like it flavored with vodka as well.
I love that. Flavored with vodka, not the other way around, as it should be.
Mm-hmm. And Jen, what are you drinking? Something fancy, I assume.
Not super fancy, but a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago, it kind of all runs together now.
I know.
I was drinking a rosé cider from Austin East Ciders. Yes. And I have, of course, Tom Purdom got it for me. And today I have their blood orange cider, and it is quite delicious.
Wow. I mean, you really are kind of fancy.
I guess that is kind of fancy. It's blood orange cider from a local cidery in Austin. Cidery, is that a thing?
It is now.
It is now. To cidery. Cider house? I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I don't know. So back by popular demand, today we are continuing our favorite assessments. And today we're going to get through two. We're going to do Strengthfinders, and we're also going to do Positive Intelligence. So I'm really excited about those today.
I am too. You know, when we got the request, which we have listeners that give us requests, when we got the request to talk about assessments, because we've sort of talked about them before. So MBTI was the first one we talked about. It deserved a whole episode. Mm-hmm. And I think these two, you know, the MBTI is obviously the $50-ish range, Strengthsfinder, $20, or just buy the book and you get a free code.
Yeah, you get a free assessment.
Yeah. And then Positive Intelligence, which is free, but also has a book. So kind of a good variety. Yeah. And first we'll start with Strengthsfinder.
So Jen, you are the expert on Strengthsfinders. Can you just start off telling us why you love Strengthsfinder so much? I mean, you talk about it like every episode.
I know. Tell me. I really don't mean to. I actually had a friend text me, like, "I love the podcast, but please shut up about Strengthsfinder" in so many words.
No, this is your episode to get it all out, because Strengthsfinders is fabulous. Why do you love it so much?
So, and my friend was kidding, by the way.
Of course.
So Strengthsfinder is, number one, it's relatively inexpensive. Mm-hmm. You can buy the book and get the code, or you can spend $20 via Gallup and take the assessment. It is from Gallup, which is a research-based organization. So similar to MBTI, tons and tons of research has gone into it. Over 24 million people have taken the assessment. So there's a ton of research behind it as well. It has pretty good reliability and validity as well. But beyond that, it uses words that you don't have to really understand what they mean beyond what we know as the word. For example, strategic is a strength. Communicator is a strength. Includer is a strength. Words that we understand and can relate to, maybe depending on culture, but typically we can understand what those mean. And if not, you get more information about it. Additionally, when you get your Strengthsfinder report, you can either pay for your top 5 or you can pay for all 34 themes and where they rank. That's $50, I think, but $20 or the book will get you your top 5 strengths. And there's a lot of research around focusing on your strengths instead of trying to improve your weaknesses. It gives you language and validation for what you're good at that you may not realize that you're good at. It helps a team figure out how to bring diversity of thought on the team, and that if there is someone out there on the team that has a completely different list of strengths or thinks in a different way, it talks about how that brings value to the team rather than stands out from the team in a bad way because they're different, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. So
really,
it's like
really,
it focuses on everyone's good.
it does.
Yeah.
Everyone's good. And so I've worked with teams on, my personal belief is you need to understand your own strengths and what you bring to the table, the value that you bring before you look at the strengths of a team together. There's 4 dimensions of Strengthsfinder as well. There's leadership dimensions. So there's relational, there's influencing, there's 4 dimensions, and you can look at where a team sits in those 4 dimensions, and all the strengths fit into one of those 4 dimensions. And so it's very, very interesting to look at different teams, how you may expect that a team of engineers would be more analytical, and that someone who may actually be an engineer may have a strength that no one else has on the team that's in the relationship category, and how beneficial that is. Where before Strengthsfinder, you may have thought, oh, that person's just a little bit different and doesn't really fit into the group. But it's because they have a strength that no one else has. And you as a team can use that as as a strength on that team to build relationships. And so that's great. Let me just kind of go through some of the strengths. So Regina, I'm going to ask you, what are your top 5 strengths? And that will help us kind of explain them to our listeners.
Yes. Okay. Well, I am happy to share. My first one is significance.
And tell us what that means.
Yeah. So significant. It's funny that I am co-hosting a podcast with you, because significance means that I want to appear significant in the eyes of other people. And I'm a podcast host now.
There you go. And tell me, so there's 2 reports that you get. Tell me which one. We have the themes report and the insight report.
I have the themes report, my
Okay.
signature themes report.
So the signature themes report is going to tell you the general definition of every strength.
Yes.
What I personally love about Strengthsfinder is it also contains an insight report. So for the insight report, your definition of significance is going to be different than someone else's definition of significance, because it's going to pull different sentences based on your other top 5 or top 10 strengths. So that definition of significance is a good one. That's a general one. Go back and look at your insight report sometime as well, and you'll see how that is fed from your other top 5 strengths. It's so interesting.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So what's number 2?
Thank you. Number 2 is activator. And that one is, I like to say, it's the getting stuff done. Usually I use a different S word when I say that, but we are a family friendly podcast. This is really about taking action and being impatient for action. Like, I want action now. When I get ready to move, I want to move.
That is so you.
And I even pushed you when we were doing this. Like, when we decided we were going to do this, like, I just put it out there. I went for action and you're like, wait,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah. And it was good for me. It was good for me. And that's how you bring value, especially, at work as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get it done.
That's true.
What's number 3?
Competition. And competition is rooted in comparison. And it says when you look at the world, you are instinctively aware of other people's performance. Their performance is the ultimate yardstick. This one I have trouble with because it is very rare that I actually feel like I'm in competition with other people. I feel like I am constantly competing with myself.
I hear that so much when I talk to people about strengths, and competition is one that no matter how many times I tell people all strengths bring value, this is the one that people struggle with
Yeah.
because we perceive it as negative, like you're competing
Yes.
against me, and it's not negative. It's what fuels you to do what you do. It's your motivation as well, and that is a good thing, and it brings value to you. It brings value to your team. You're not competing with your team. You're not competing with me. You're wanting to win. You're wanting everybody to win. You're wanting to push yourself harder,
Yeah.
and that is a strength, and it brings value.
I definitely do. Like I want to win. I always want to win. And I want my team to win and I want us all to win together.
And I know that about you. So that's a strength. What's number 4?
Maximizer means excellent, not average is your measure. And that is like that perfectionist, do it right. It says taking something from below average to slightly above average takes a great deal of effort and in your opinion is not very rewarding. You want to transform something strong into something superb.
And once again, that is 100% you, and not hard to see how that brings value and how that adds value. I love it.
Excellent. Thank you. You
What's
want my
number 5?
last one? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. It's
Okay.
my favorite.
Uh-huh. Well, you've asked me about this one before. You've asked me if I had woo in my top 5, and this is where the woo is. And woo stands for winning others over. That's the WOO. You enjoy a challenge of meeting new people and getting them to like you. Strangers are rarely intimidated by you.
And
On the
that is
contrary, strangers can be energizing. And I'm sorry, it doesn't say strangers are rarely intimidated by you. It says intimidating to you. So sorry. I read that completely wrong. It has a totally different meaning.
a totally different meaning,
Totally
but
different meaning. Strangers can be energizing, is what it says.
so true. And so again, this is all you completely. And what it tells me about you is that you want to win. You want to win others over, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to bring people along
Mm-hmm.
and get it done right and well.
Yes.
And that's 100% who you are. And so interesting because I don't know that we've ever actually sat down and gone through your strengths before. So thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah. And I think that these are all influence. I think they all 5 of these fall under influence.
So the leadership domain of influence. Yes,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Which was very interesting to me, and almost a little disappointing because I was hoping that my top 5 would be more spread out, but it's a lot of influence.
So again, I hear that a lot. I hear individuals say, "Oh, all my strengths are in one leadership domain," or "My team's strengths are mostly in one leadership domain." But if
Mm-hmm.
you think about your role, about who you are, about what you're about,
Mm-hmm.
you're a powerhouse of influence. And so it's such a strength for who you are and what you do, but you build a team around you with strengths that you don't have. So you may need people that are analytical. You may
Mm-hmm.
need someone with context because you're such an activator. You may
Mm-hmm.
need someone with context, which is more about what have we done in the past, bringing all of the different context and information. You may need someone around you to say, oh, whoa. We tried that last year. Here's what we
Mm-hmm.
learned from it. Before you get started, take these learnings.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
But there are people that are.
Yes, and I need them near me.
And so it gives you such number one, it gives you language for what you're good at that you may not have realized before. And I know I already said that, but it's so powerful because a lot of times when people first see their top five strengths, there's always somebody that goes, that's not a strength. I really don't understand. That's not a strength at all. Focus is on my top five. I didn't think it was a strength. I thought, that's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand. Um, Sometimes, though, something comes so innately to you that you don't even see it as a strength because you assume everybody is good at that and that's how the world is. So I thought that way about focus. It helps you bridge gaps with people. So
Yes.
people that are just so different, you don't understand what you both bring to the table. It can help with one-on-one relationships. It can help with team dynamics of, if someone has activator, give them the important projects that are important to get kicked off. If someone has strategic, give them the role or the project that needs the alignment to the bigger vision. Someone has communicator, so you really can think about it. And again, I could talk about this all day, but Strengthsfinder, super valuable for you to understand the value that you bring, super valuable for a team to understand what everyone brings so we can work together. Also, as a leader, incredible to understand the strengths of your team so that you can put the right person in the right place at the right time. Really incredible. Again, very cost effective. You don't even need anybody to debrief it for you. You can go to Gallup, strengthsfinder.com. You can buy the book. You can do this together. There are, again, coaches and people you can get to do that for you. But Strengthsfinder, really, really great tool.
It is. And thank you for that. Thanks for helping me through some of that too, because it's interesting how it's strengths finders and I still look at it and find weaknesses. Isn't that weird?
Everyone does. Everyone does. And, research has shown that working on your strengths can take you to be near precision or perfect performance, where working on your weaknesses, you may become average if you're lucky. Like I always use the example of me in math. Just never going to happen. But if I work on something that I'm already naturally gifted in, I can get a lot further. But what I want to hear about is our third assessment, which is free, which is actually a really fun one. Also a personality test called Positive Intelligence Saboteurs. So tell me a little bit about this.
Okay. Shirzad, I think it's Chamaine. I probably am messing up his last name very much. He is a New York Times bestseller. He's also a lecturer at Stanford. He also coaches CEOs. I mean, this guy is pretty amazing. He has his PhD in neuroscience.
I was amazed by that when I read that.
I know, right? His BA in psychology. He actually has a master's in electrical engineering and an MBA from Stanford. I mean, like this guy knows so much. And he has a TED Talk. If you haven't watched it, you will smile the whole time and fall in love with him.
I actually haven't watched the TED Talk.
Oh my gosh, you have to. It is so lovely. He is so lovely.
And I believe his theory about positive intelligence and the saboteur assessment is based in positive psychology.
That is correct.
Which is when I was in grad school in psychology. I love positive psychology. It's such an interesting field and needed. And I love that his assessment is rooted in that theory.
Absolutely. And he has the knowledge to back all of this up. And so like you talked about strengths finders and figuring out what your strengths are. His is exactly the opposite. And his is figuring out how do you self-sabotage? How do you
We all do.
We all do. How do you sabotage yourself? What are the internal saboteurs? There are 10 of them. Everyone has the judge. Like that is kind of like everyone has that saboteur. And then what he does is based on an assessment, he ranks the other 9 so that you can figure out where you self-sabotage the most. And the reason that he wants you to do this, and I want you to do this, is because we have so much negative self-talk, especially as women.
I am more horrible to myself than I would ever be to another human or animal.
Amen, sister. We are horrible to ourselves. Our self-talk is so negative, and all of that negative self-talk, all of our stress, all of our anxiety, all of our self-doubt, regret, shame, and guilt are all deeply seated in our saboteurs. And our saboteurs were actually started when we were very young. And now, as we are adults, we don't need that protection anymore, but it's ingrained.
It's hardwired.
It's so hardwired in all of us. And what understanding your saboteurs does is it helps you get your sage reactivated. That's your wise brain, right? It's a totally different region of your brain, and it produces all of your positive emotions. It's where you get your curiosity, your empathy, your creativity, your calmness, your clear-headedness, that focus that you were talking about. All of those things come from your sage. Or
now I figure that it sounds like that's super related to the id, the ego, and the super ego.
To go back to all of your education, absolutely. And I mean, he's got his PhD in neuroscience, so I'm sure
crazy.
You and Shirzad could totally geek out together.
Well, I'm impressed that you think I could geek out with a neuroscientist.
Oh my gosh, you totally could geek out with a neuroscientist. Oh. And I would just be sitting there listening to you guys going, "You're amazing."
That is a very big false compliment, but thank you. Oh, negative self-talk.
See,
in action.
My saboteur though would be sitting there going, "I'm not smart enough to be sitting here with these people," which
is ridiculous.
By the way, yours just did that too. So
craziness.
I know.
Well,
so we've both,
we've
both taken the assessment, right? You just recently took it.
Yes, I had never I may have taken it years ago, but I can't remember. It may have been in my I'm crazy about assessments phase where I took a bunch of them and I couldn't remember. So I took it. Mm-hmm. What I love, number one, it's free. It's rooted in all of Shirzad's expertise and mm-hmm. research. Mm-hmm. And they send you emails on how to use it with all of this information.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
For free.
Yeah.
You don't even pay for it. Like,
I mean, just buy the book, like, to pay the guy back.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know that he'll read every email that you sent him. So the generated email that gets sent to you, if you respond to it, he'll read it. I'm not sure if he responds to everything, but he does read every email.
I'm writing him today.
Yeah, I think we probably should. We should at least tell him to listen to our episode.
My podcast host and friend told me that I could geek out with you about neuroscience.
And we would like to do that.
Live on air, you know.
Oh, that would be
And can
great.
You bring a drink of the day?
Yes, and please bring a drink. So Jen, what was your number one saboteur?
As I have learned this, it rates you from a scale of 1 to 10.
Correct.
On your saboteurs. So just for some context, my lowest one is a 1.9. The rest of them are like 3.8, 4.4, 5, 5.6, 6.3, 6.9. But my number one is a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that is hyperachiever, mm-hmm. which aligns with my Strengthsfinder results and any other assessment I've ever taken, pretty much.
My favorite thing to do with positive intelligence, and I hope you don't mind it, that the last thing on your descriptor for hyperachiever tells you about the origin of this. You don't need it today, but how it started as a very young child. And for hyperachiever, it says self-validation, self-acceptance, and self-love are conditional or conditioned on continual performance. And it goes into a little bit more. I have found that the survival functions, we've all done that. We've all had to self-validate, self-accept, and self-love. Right? Like we didn't.
Now you're getting into my psyche and my inner child.
Yeah. And
I'm afraid
I'm not the person to do that. So I'll stop there and say what I love about this is actually starting at the end. So if you take a look at hyperachiever and you start there about, okay, where did this come from? He helps you understand that. But then he goes through the characteristics. And the interesting thing is that hyperachiever is not bad. It's the sabotage that you put on yourself because you're a hyperachiever.
So is that where the characteristics come from?
I think so.
So competitive image and status conscious, which as much as I hate to admit it, that can be true about me. Good at covering up insecurities and showing a positive image. I definitely can do that. Adapt my personality to fit what would be most impressive to the other. Goal oriented, can be a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
More into perfecting the public image than introspection. Probably
Mm,
true.
I don't know.
Can be self-promoting and can keep people at a safe distance. I mean, a lot of that is true. Interesting.
Look at the thoughts though. So for hyperachiever, and by the way, Jen, I wanted to share with you, hyperachiever is my number 2. It's 9.4 out of 10. I'm
Wow.
right there with you, sister. So thoughts, I must be best at what I do. Didn't we just talk about that with Strengthfinders and me?
We did for
Okay.
sure.
If I can't be outstanding, I won't bother. My husband will tell you that is true every day. I refuse to play golf because I can't hit the ball, and I could practice and probably learn to hit the ball. But because I couldn't hit the ball the first time, I just refused to swing a golf club.
If you have no chance of winning, like why would
Agreed.
you? Yeah,
See, we get each other because we are both
no,
hyperachievers.
we are.
I love it. I love it.
So I want to know because we talked about your highest saboteur
Yes.
in our very first episode.
Yes. And that was the pleaser. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I would love to know some characteristics of that.
Oh, sure. For the pleaser, just kind of the definition really quick there is that I indirectly try to gain acceptance and affection by helping, pleasing, rescuing, or flattering others.
I think women are on some level kind of groomed to do
to
that
be
anyway.
pleasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was just recommended a book today called The Disease to Please.
I probably need that too.
Hashtag add to cart. I immediately ordered it. And so I'll share it with you because it made me think of your saboteur. Pleasing is like number 4 maybe for me, but I just feel it
Yeah.
a lot for some reason.
Well, this one's 10 out of 10 for me. So I have a strong need to be liked by people. That's absolutely true.
That kind of goes along with your woo of winning others over
Yeah.
as well in Strengthsfinder,
Yeah.
which I think I said in the first episode too.
Absolutely. I need frequent reassurance by others about their acceptance and affection. My boss can say that that's true if she's listening. Love you, girl. And then the third characteristics is that I can't express my own needs openly and directly. I do very much struggle with that. I do love to hear other people's needs because I want to meet them. My boss even told me a few years ago, she said, you got to stop rescuing everybody. And I was like, oh, that hurt. Of course, I hadn't done positive intelligence then. So I had no idea.
So fascinating. I also have no ability to what is the bullet you said about asking for what you need or
I
something?
can't express my own needs openly and directly.
I have no ability to do that.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. I just
So
don't.
interesting. And I feel like as women, these assessments that we've talked about are so powerful for women because sometimes we're raised to be the nice girl and polite and to not push boundaries and to understand how you may be sabotaging yourself, what value you bring with Strengthsfinder and then your MBTI as well. Even if you just choose one of those,
Right.
giving yourself language to understand the value that you bring and how you may be holding yourself back is incredibly empowering.
Well, you're absolutely right. And what's so empowering about positive intelligence is that Shirzad actually teaches you through a series of emails how to overcome these self-limiting beliefs and this self-sabotage. And so he actually gives 3 specific steps that you can take. He sends these free to everyone in an email after they take
I find
the
that
assessment.
incredible.
I mean, like this man is like all heart. He just wants to share all of this goodness.
I can't wait to watch that TED Talk.
You've got to watch it. Can I go through the 3 steps real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, the first step to bust the saboteur's lies is first one, whatever thought is causing your stress, label it as a saboteur lie so that it loses its credibility and its power over you. So, for example, you say, I think I'm going to screw this up, becomes my lying saboteur insists that I will screw this up.
That also reminds me of a limiting belief, which is what our guest Sarah Kupica commented on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Step number two is shift your attention to a physical sensation for at least 10 seconds. I have been practicing this a lot. And what that means is focus on your breath, feel the weight in your chair, or hear the ambient sounds around you. Maybe you hear birds chirping. What that does is it quiets the region of the brain that fuels your saboteur. So you can do some breathing exercises, maybe, or focus on something very clearly. I mean, heck, maybe it's your toenails. Try to feel your toenails, whatever it is, something
That's
physical.
fascinating. I've actually heard a lot about that recently in terms
Mm-hmm.
of managing anxiety. So there's
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I can't remember what it is, but there's a count to five, find five things in the room that you can see using your senses
Mm-hmm.
to
To refocus, because it's a different part of your brain, is what Shirzad says.
fascinating.
It takes you away from that part of your brain who is sabotaging you and moves into a totally different part of your brain. I don't pretend to understand that, but
That's amazing.
he's smart. Mm-hmm. Okay, number three, when the saboteur thought comes back, and it will, he says, repeat the process with patience. And if you get upset at it, you're only fueling it. Try to give your saboteur a humorous name like Grim Reaper, Sourpuss, or Know It All. Poke fun at your saboteur.
That is awesome.
Mine might be Penny Pleaser. Shut up, Penny
Take a
Pleaser.
back seat.
You're not invited. I'm going to breathe for a second.
That's
Get
great.
out
And
of
that's
here.
such simple, actionable advice.
Imagine what you could unleash if you just stopped your negative self talk.
It's really neat and empowering. And I like that it gives you a distraction instead of trying
Yes.
to just overcome it.
Yes. I've read some of his research. So by distracting and not fueling that saboteur part of your brain, it actually weakens and your sage gets stronger. Your gray matter actually changes. He's done like the imaging
Functional
of brains
MRI.
with people who have done this. Yes, that thing. You're so smart. He's taken the pictures of the brain to see the difference in the saboteur and how that shrinks and where that lives in the brain, and how your sage or your wise brain actually grows and has more gray matter.
Wow. And actually, you're the smart one. Hello, gray matter and rewiring your brain. That's amazing. Or can we both be smart? Let's empower each other.
Sure, we can. Yes, we are both so
Gray
smart.
matter.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. So positiveintelligence.com is where you can take that free assessment. Anyone can do it. And everyone gets the free emails. Buy his book. Or he also has, if you're like really serious about this and you really want to rewire, he actually has a program that you can join. And there's an app that goes with it. You can check that out on the Positive Intelligence website.
I wonder if he uses neuro-linguistic programming, which we mentioned in a couple episodes back, but I bet he does.
Well, I mean, I don't know because I don't even know what that is, but you do. And I like feel so confident in you.
I love you. That's why we have a drink of the day and we talk about all the things.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Well, what's one thing that our listeners can do based on this episode around Strengthsfinder and positive intelligence?
Yeah, I gotta say, pick one and go do it. Like, funds are low, positive intelligence. Funds aren't low if you got $20 or you have the whatever it is for the book. I don't have my book here, but I think it's around $20 too.
Yeah.
Either one. Take an assessment and just see what it says. And then follow up with the guidance that the assessment gives you. Like if you're going to do positive intelligence, give his 3-step process a shot and really start to understand your saboteurs and why they are there.
I love your energy and passion around positive intelligence. And I can tell that you've gotten a lot out of it from understanding what your saboteurs are. And I mean, it's even come up in conversations in other episodes. So I'm really glad we did a deep dive on it. So Regina, it's time for your favorite segment, which is, as leaders, we need to fill our cups before we can fill others. So what are you doing to fill your cup right now?
Jen, I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but I am super crafty.
You are super crafty.
Yeah, I love crafts. I actually have a pottery wheel and a kiln that I haven't used in years, but I'm
coming
start.
to your house to use that, by the way.
I know. And I'm going to fire it up and we're going to give it a shot. It's been a while since I've turned it on, but we need to do that. But I also like making wood signs. So
I can see two of them behind you.
Right. Yes, there are two. One of them I don't like. So I'm actually going to flip it over and do the other side. I did make one for my beautiful mother that was the most beautiful sign I have ever made. And I even purchased lanterns that you purchased for your happy place or similar
I did.
lanterns.
I am not shy about adding to my cart.
I know. And so I'm going to fix the sign that I made and do another welcome sign. So I've been working on that and designing that. And it just makes me feel great, Jen.
Where is that one going?
At my house. I actually don't have one out here. My sister's requested one too. My mother's actually doesn't say welcome. It says together is our favorite place to be.
I love it. And you're filling your own cup because you're doing one for yourself.
Yes, I am. Jen, what are you doing to fill your cup?
Well, this weekend, for the first time in over a year, the whole family is getting together. The whole family, like I like to say sometimes. We are getting together at our house, actually. So we live in a townhouse downtown, but we'll have 12 over for a meal this weekend. And yeah, we missed 2 Christmases all together. We missed holidays together. And so it's going to be the first time we're all together. So it'll be really great.
Oh gosh, I am so excited for you guys. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, we're going to have so fun.
Can you tell everybody how they can find us?
I would love to. So please let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you like. Find us, send us an email at leaderishpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and on Facebook at Leaderish Podcast as well. And, cheers to understanding more about yourself, how you add value, and using that.
Yes.
You're fantastic.